early childhood. Let's go. Who's that? Who's that with a different color hat? I'm a teacher with many roles. Who's that? Who's that? Let me tell you flat. A facilitator, an observer, a reflector, a collaborator, a scaffolder, and an advocate. Who's that? Who's that? Let me tell you flat. All these roles are a part of my goals, so please pay attention to what I have to say. It will inform you what I do every day.
We are not just teachers, we are managers of the world's greatest resource, children. This great quote from John Mayhem gives us a great understanding of our goals as educators. We have a responsibility on our shoulders and we need to do a proper job if we are to bring about change in our future society. In light of this, we cannot just be directors of instruction in the classroom, absolutely not. To accomplish this great feat, there are many hats that we would have to wear as children are depending upon us for our guidance and their development. A paramount part of our ethical responsibility to children includes providing care and education in settings that are safe, healthy, nurturing, and responsive to children, with respect for their individuality and helping them to learn, live, play, and work cooperatively, while also promoting self awareness, competence, self worth, resilience, and physical well being. In addition to these responsibilities, we are also responsible for forming relationships with families, co-workers, and also the members of society. To fulfill these responsibilities, there is no way that we can just wear one hat. Teachers must be willing to create a classroom atmosphere which contains and coincides with DAP in that what is known about child development and learning, what is known about each child as an individual, and what is known about the social and cultural context in which children live. According to the hierarchy of needs by Maslow, children need to feel psychologically safe in order for learning to take place, while Piaget and early childhood teachers also wear the hat of facilitators. Teachers who facilitate personal growth in children are unique. According to Osmond, a facilitator is a person who assists a group of people in grasping at their common target and in achieving them without any intervention on his or her behalf. Teachers who facilitate personal growth in children are unique. Being a facilitator means a teacher must be dedicated and willing to share themselves. When teachers facilitate children's learning, they guide them to come up with answers to their own as they help them to become problem solvers. As teachers take up the role of facilitators, they display qualities that include effective listener, they show understanding, they respect geniuses, and allow children to be investigators. According to Piaget, the teacher plays an integral role in modeling, providing examples, and carefully developing questions that engage and support the learning process. One role of the early childhood educator is being an observer. As teachers observe children in the environment, they learn about their interests, their developmental level, their skills, and even their personality. From the observations, teachers can now use this information to enhance their quality of teaching, prepare the environment, along with plan activities to cater to their specific needs. According to Montessori, teachers should carefully observe children at work and play to determine what teaching aid and materials are appropriate for their next phase of learning. As teachers record children's behavior, they see growth patterns. According to Gordon and Brown, these trends reflect the nature of human development. Both Piaget and Erikson use these techniques to learn how children think and develop socially and emotionally.
Good educator needs to reflect in order to be effective. Reflection involves being able to critically assess what you are doing and find ways of improving it. It therefore requires the educator to assess both their overt and covert actions, taking the time to critically analyze their teaching methods and making the necessary adjustments in order to be more effective. This is not always an easy thing to do, but as an educator, you cannot go on the notion that what I am doing is the correct and only way. Not at all. As an educator, you must be readily available to facilitate change if you are to remain relevant in this ever-evolving world. Clement 2015 quoted Dewey's statement that we do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experiences. So by asking yourself questions like what I did, why did I do it, how did I do it, and what could I have done differently, will help you in making the necessary changes in order to be an effective educator. Another role of an early childhood educator is that of being a collaborator. According to the National Association for the Education of Young Children, 2011, part of our ethical responsibilities to community and society involves cooperating with agencies and professionals that share the responsibilities for children and assisting families in gaining access to those agencies and professionals. While Brenner's 1979 ecological theory shows that the child is at the center of systems that impacts their development. Therefore, an educator must be able to form meaningful bonds with parents and stakeholders as part of providing quality programs to children. Parents have a lot of valuable information that can be useful to the development of their children, while stakeholders can provide necessary assistance where needed. By fostering good collaboration, children's needs are able to be dealt with from a multidisciplinary and multi-agency approach, which would no doubt promote development in a holistic manner.
Young children are always eager to learn and explore the unknown. Thus, it is vital to the young lives which practitioners care for each day to be an ever present guide while allowing them the freedom to be actively involved. This sentiment leads to the role of an MKO, or more knowledgeable other, a term which Vygotsky coined in his theory of socio-cultural context of development. In his philosophy, a practitioner's role as an MKO is to act as a guiding scaffold in children as they develop. It is through the role of an MKO that a practitioner can scaffold the young learner in progressing from what they can do by themselves to what they are able to achieve with assistance. Govian 2008 reflects this notion by stating that provision and support of development in children occurs through the practitioner's assumption of the role as a mediator in the child's learning experiences in their zone of proximal development. Baum, Jones and Berry 2016 asserts that children are acknowledged by international human rights laws and domestic family laws as being among the most vulnerable members of society. Therefore, it is essential that practitioners assume the role of a child rights advocate as a result of it being an ethical portion of their daily task and the vulnerable status of children. With this in mind, children are entitled to rights which provides an avenue for them to be protected, provided for, and to participate in life. Hence, the practitioner's role as an advocate is to be a guide for children as they voice and exercise their rights, as well as actively working towards what is in the best interest of the child. In support, Reed and Barton 2014 states that as a result of the deep-rooted ethics of care of young children, the practitioner's role as an advocate is to be a voice for children to exercise their rights.
As we go, let me tell you this. Being an educator have plenty twists. There's lots of roles that you have to embrace in order for children to develop at their own pace. In this video, we've captured a few. Facilitator, observer, reflector, too. Collaborator, scaffolder, advocate are true. But there is much more for you to do. So please, do the best that you can so that we can have a better future generation. Hats off to you educators. We thank you very much for viewing.